Tomorrow we should be already in Kharkiv region. So the journey begins. We are now again in Izum, and here we are near the church building, the prayer house of Baptist Church. You can see that it is completely destroyed. The pastor is now showing us and explaining how it worked. That people were inside, but somehow they went from the second floor to the ground floor, and that what kept them alive, because rocket just hit it into the building, and then they were sitting in the basement because the attacks were continuing, and there was only one bucket for toilet where men and women had to go, and only a few minutes before, between shellings, they were able to take this bucket outside. We're here with the Dutch TV crew from Evangelical Broadcasting to film what is happening now, what is going on, and there are hundreds of these stories. Actually, if you start asking people, you need weeks and weeks just to listen. You can see around there is practically no one house that is not damaged in Izum. Here services went, and they said during the rocket attack it started burning, so they were running out upstairs to save at least some sound equipment. So they were put water over them and run here upstairs because everything was burning. But when they were wet, they were able to come in and to save at least something. Also there was some food, and then they started counting how many people are there, and then they missed 3 people. So finally someone searched and found a mother with 2 kids sleeping. They were so tired that even during the rocket attack they were sleeping. So then they took them downstairs, and that's how they survived. Yeah, these are more than dramatic stories, of course. But when you ask, when we asked the pastor how did he feel, did he have fear or something, he said, well, I had no time for fear, because we had to do it to save people. Here we are in Izum, near the oldest school of Izum. Last time I was making footages, and now Arenda, with a Dutch TV crew, is taking interviews from the children who studied here. Dima brought a bus with humanitarian help, with food and stoves. We are now driving to Bakhmut. We have military with us and chaplain, and there are 2 buses behind us. And we are driving to speak with the chaplain and also to bring the rocket stoves to military, and to also bring food to the civilians which still live in the flats in the Bakhmut. We are not sure if we can make it today to Bakhmut, really, because there are quite heavy fights, and we heard also lots of explosions this morning, but hopefully we can get there to help people. Here's Petro, Arenda is near. It's a beautiful day. It's quite cold, -6. It was -10 in the night, but no snow. And here it feels not as cold as yesterday in Izum. We're almost at Bakhmut now. Arenda is nearby. We have a crew from the army. We have chaplain with us. And we have our brave boy in the bus with us. We have also Dutch crew, filmmaking, and we have local guys from the church. Yeah. So now we are fully packed, and we start moving, if I'll find the key. So now we are driving. Here, the faster you drive, the less chance you have to become a target. Here we came to the position of our soldiers. Here you could see that's how they're heating up. Parts of shells they're using for something, charging phones. Here there's food, and continuously we hear heavy artillery around us. I should say that this one is the most loud trip we ever had. We are very close to the front line, in fact, and they said we have to come into this building because the explosions are around, and you can be a bit more safe if you're staying inside. And besides, we are with quite a big group of people which drones can see, and we can become easy targets for them also. The chaplain is coming here time to time just to speak with the soldiers. We brought now to them also filters for water. We brought some food, some cans from the Netherlands. And as I understood, here is our brave boy. Yeah, they were the guys from Perspectiva Center were making energy bars, and we gave these energy bars to the soldiers. Here the filming, because there more far there is a tank staying, and already behind the hill the fights are happening, because at this moment we hear artillery fights. They call it artillery duels. So when Ukrainian troops and Russian troops are fighting against each other, there are few artillery staying just behind us, so we hear every time they're shooting, and we hear the shootings from the other side, which is approaching to us. The soldiers, they said, well, when it will come really to you, you will hear, so don't worry, because most of the explosions which we hear now are not on our side. Here you can see tank is coming, and here they're repairing it. So there is a tank behind me also. It will start shooting now, so I will go a bit aside. See, it's really loud here. A lot of military activities are going around. Here we brought the rocket stoves to another location. Here it's very practical because it works on wood. These are the tankists, so the tanks are here. Time to time they are driving to the front line from here to shoot, and then they're coming back here to rest and to repair. So it was very nice that we are able to bring it as far as the front line is. And especially when they're driving with tanks, sometimes they get a task to stay overnight somewhere in the forest. Then it is the most practical way to cook for them. And also it's very compact, this rocket stove, and you need just a few pieces of wood, and also it does not you don't reveal yourself, because when you're using this rocket stove you don't see the light, and in the darkness it is very practical for soldiers. Here, this is our last position, of military position, and then after that we plan to go to civilians. The older guys, just grown men or teenagers, and they need especially shoes, warm shoes and warm clothes for the winter. So, because I don't understand when she started asking about shoes, how shoes are related to the bread baking, but then she explained that this is because the bakers are guys from rehab centers, and that's why they need warm clothes now, because they are baking outside. So I'm just writing this message and leaving it here. Maybe someone here in Europe can help. We will also look in Kiev for warm clothes and we'll send some. But here actually the process, what I said, is going on. Yeah. You see the bread is almost proofed, but it's even here it's quite cold, so it takes quite a long time for proofing of the bread. The kneading machine is working. Our Werner and Fleider is ages old, but still is working. And this is the culinary battalion of Kramatorsk. Here we are driving from Kramatorsk to Kharkiv, and this landscape is repeating again and again. Broken trees, burned fields, destroyed villages, a lot of military transport is going back and forth. It's just not possible to show by videos or photos the scale of damage which is caused, the size of occupied territories of Ukraine are several times the Netherlands, for example. The level of destruction in many cities is bigger than in the Second World War. The disasters, but also the catastrophe of the winter which is coming is just difficult to comprehend and to explain, and of course there is a lot of support given and a lot of people are coming and helping and food is supplied, and still it's just impossible to explain the level of grief, disaster, problem. And when you see this all, on one hand, of course, we are used to this already, we see a lot, and at the same time, this morning we were able to listen to stories. So someone is driving and stopping by the destroyed tanks. This is quite fresh, what you see. Here also trees are broken, you can see already they are repairing roads after explosions, after shellings. And then time to time you see those flags. That's at the places where more soldiers died in the bigger fights. Then you see those flags, and there were numbers of Ukrainian troops which were here protecting or taking over this place. And how long it will take to build it back, it's also difficult to say. But also these fields are completely empty staying this year. No one was plowing them, no one was harvesting, and while the harvest is there, quite a lot of mines, a lot of explosives. It will take years and years to clean it up. All these forests, which were a lot of unexploded mines, are here everywhere. You see a lot of signs, but Ukraine needs support very much, but Ukraine needs victory. Ukraine needs security and guarantees of securities. But at the same time, it is very special to see how motivated people are, how enthusiastic they are despite everything they saw. This morning we heard from women which were feeding us in the church their stories about mothers who were coming with 4 children just after the husband died, and they were just telling how children were coming to mother and asking something. She even didn't understand that they were talking to her, so shocked she was. And they said, well, she stayed here for 2 days and then we sent her over to the west somewhere, we don't know what happened with her. Or another mother that grabbed her 2 children and jumped into basement, and that saved her life, but at the same time behind the door she left her husband. He could not be so quick, and his brother, and they died, and she also was with children. So, and here still everywhere you can see fresh signs of fights, and fights are going on and on and on, and hundreds and thousands of soldiers and civilians are dying. And we are driving now back to Brovary through Kharkiv. We will go now after our mission with a Dutch TV crew. They were making a movie which will be shown for Christmas. fire, and it is, unfortunately, it is Christmas we never experienced ever before. Very peaceful Christmas, celebration of the peace that God brought to the earth, but unfortunately most of people did not accept this peace, and we try to bring a bit of this love and peace from God to people, to show, to share, and I thank you everyone who's helping us in that, in these very ruined territories, but also ruined lives, to bring a bit of light and a bit of love and a bit of warmth. So may God bless your families and bless the coming Christmas for you, and may your families be safe and healthy.